and on your doorstep in a place called Sherburn-in-Elmet. No reason why you should have heard of it. It is a village in the Selby district of North Yorkshire, and it is between York and Leeds.
Yeah, it's nestled within areas of big British industry. It's a village first inhabited back in Roman times, but today it is actually best known for being surrounded, as we just said, by large industrial estates and an old World War II airfield that employs thousands.
Well, 10,000 people live there. Very welcoming, as we found out from our reporter Anna Riley today. It's in her patch, it's on her beat. And Anna, thanks for bringing us there as well this morning. So where are you? Who are you going to speak to?
Good morning. Yes, we've come out of the centre of the village and we've been looking at residents that we can speak to, and we're going to have a knock on this door, so just follow me. And we're going to speak to a resident about the day's news and what they do. So let's give them a knock and see if they'll let us in. Good morning.
Hello.
GB News here. Wondered if we could come in and have a chat with you.
Yes, come in.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, it's lovely and warm in here, lovely and toasty. And just name and introduce yourself for our listeners and viewers.
My name's John. I've been a resident of Sherburn-in-Elmet for the last 22 years. To me, it's a fair bit of time, but to some of the older people, I'm a newcomer still. So, yeah, I'm part of the community now, yes.
Know the village well. And what we've been talking about this morning is the rising cost of living. How's that impacted you?
Well, obviously, prices are going up. The big concern at the moment is the energy costs. I mean, my bill has gone up 25% from last year to this year. And of course, in April, we're expecting another huge increase, which will possibly mean it'll be gone up 50%. Now, so incomes of sort of mine, I'm a pensioner, I rely on the pension. And of course, the pensions were capped this year, so that our increase in pension is 3.1%. So it's not actually matching up to how the inflation is, but everything's getting more expensive. The food's more expensive, going out for a meal, going out for a drink, going down to the pub, have a couple of beers, and I say that the expenses is just mounting up. And I think obviously the people that run the businesses are trying to recoup some of they're being charged more, so they have to pass on those cost increases to us, the public. So yes.
Bit of a vicious cycle. But what I can see here, you mentioned you were retired. Could you have been a police officer?
Yes, I was retired. I was a police officer. I worked for the police for over 40 years.
Who are you in this
I'm on the top.
lineup?
I'm on the top right.
Here we go. You had a moustache back then.
Well, everyone had a moustache then. That was the style. So I grew a moustache when I was about 17, with the intention to make myself look a bit older, to look a bit more mature. And eventually, when I got to about 50, and having achieved that objective, I decided then to shave it off and to be clean shaven and make me look younger, which I'm trying to do now.
Well, what was it like being in the police force? What drew you to it?
Well, my father was in the police force, and it's a way of life. It's an occupation that it just captures you. You're part of a big family there, and no matter where you go in the country, you can go to any other police force, and you'll have a relationship, or you build up a relationship with them. And the team we worked on, they've always been close, and I still keep in contact with many of them now.
And how do you think it's changed? Because you said that picture was 1975. When did you start, and what do you think to the force now?
I think the pressures on the police have gone up probably tenfold. There's less officers now trying to deal with more incidents, more reports, and it's just a vicious circle where they keep, they can't investigate the offences, the reports, like they used to do before. It's just they don't have the time or sufficient numbers being able to do that. I mean, they cut the police officers down by 20,000. They cut the civilian staff that used to provide assistance and help them to do the job. They've cut them down. So consequently now they're stretched. They're going from call to call to call, not having really time to investigate some of the more serious issues.
Definitely a lot more pressures. And Sherburn, what's it like for crime here?
Sherburn is I've lived and worked in West Yorkshire for many years, and the crime rate here it's one of the best in the country in terms of it's the lowest in the country. So it's a reasonably safe place to live. And I feel a lot, I feel happy sort of to live here in this type of environment. Yeah.
And it's a great community spirit.
Oh, very much so, very much so. When COVID first came out, when we got notification of there being a potential lockdown, we had a meeting and a group of us got together and we asked for volunteers and we set up a coronavirus aid group which was there to provide assistance to the residents of Sherburn if they couldn't get out to the shops or couldn't collect the medication from the chemists or needed other things that could be done. And within a short time we'd over 70 volunteers that came forward. And similarly, there's a lot of voluntary organisations within Sherburn which are well supported by the local community volunteers. The local library is a community library. A local school has become a community centre and again run by volunteers. And it's a really good village. In fact, it's not a village now; it's a town. Yeah.
Still officially a village, but it's getting that way.
Yeah, well, we're just short of 10,000 people that live here now. 8 years ago, you might still call it a village, but now, with the numbers of people here, the expansion that we've had, and also the expansion to the industrial estate, it's a town now. You can call it what you want, but it's a town.
Thank you so much, John. Lovely to speak to you. So, yeah, really insightful chatting here to John this morning about the day's news and what it was like to be a police officer.
It is, Anna, really insightful. You know, there's John going about his business. He was making his toast. He was probably watching us on TV. You arrive at the door. You've brightened up his day there. Now, are you going to stay on for a wee cup of tea or something?
Yes, I think the kettle might be on. Yeah, I might get a little cuppa and warm up.
That's nice. So John's waking up his day there. John Boyd, a retired police officer. It was nice. Anna showed us around his shelves and his pictures and all that sort of thing there as well. But just what's really nice is real people with real views making the news that we formulate and transmit here for you on GB News. Anna, thanks very much indeed.